Hi, welcome to this new series, No Longer. In this series, we talk to people who are no longer in their conventional profession and who would walk out from the conventional boxes and took the path less taken. In this episode, we are going to talk to Ivan Choe, who was a lawyer and now he is the founder and CEO of Apex Digital Dental Laboratory. Ivan,
Hi, yes.
nice to meet you today.
Okay,
I'm very thankful that you accommodate us and explain to us all the workflow and introduce us to your lab, give us a good tour. So I'm now doing a series called No Longer.
No longer.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, no longer in this series, I usually I want to talk to people, to professionals who are no longer practicing their conventional, their traditional profession
Okay.
that they are supposed to do.
Okay.
So please tell us your name,
Okay.
what is your profession, and what you are actually doing now, in a sentence.
Okay. My name is Ivan Choe. Okay. I run a digital dental lab. So I founded this digital dental lab in 2016 January. So now what am I doing is actually managing this lab and bringing more technology into Malaysia dental landscape.
But you are a
I am previously a practicing lawyer.
so that's the interesting part that
Yeah.
we want to know,
Okay.
right? So can we go back all the way to your childhood?
Yeah,
And then you
sure.
tell us about where you're from, what kind of schools that you went to,
Okay.
what were your experience then, and is there any influence that made you choose law?
Okay. Okay, I actually go back to my childhood. I was from Penang. I was from Penang. I born in Penang. I do my primary school and secondary school in Penang as well. So my primary school is Guanghua Xiaoxue. High school is SMK Chongling. Yeah, so Chongling. So SMK Chongling. Then I finished my Form 5 there. Then after that, I went for national service. So during national service, I was the Series 3 batch number 2. So which means we start our national NS in March. So during that time, we were told that we have to finish before we can study our tertiary education, and A level usually start on January. So I couldn't do my A level, and then at that point I was still after Form 5, after SBM, waiting for result, that kind of boy. Right. So I talked to my brother, my elder brother. So my brother actually say like, why don't you study, do something first lah, take a diploma or something. So he actually helped me to register, enroll in TAR College. Yeah, so I was enrolled in TAR College for diploma in business administration. So then I finished my national service. I come out, I continue straight to my TAR College study in Penang. So during that time, I asked around, so if I do diploma, can I continue to do law? Okay, then speaking about law, why
you have this interest?
Yes, actually.
Is there any influence from your family, your brother, or your parents, or is it coming all from yourself, or
actually,
what is your mindset?
Myself, sometimes I like to talk a lot. So sometimes when I talk a lot, then like I wouldn't say it's relative, but uncle aunties, they will say, hey, you so pandai talk, you should become a lawyer lah. So at that point, I don't know what is lawyer. I mean, during not high school, primary school, I just know like lawyer is a profession, but I don't know in detail. So after that, during high school time, we watch a lot. Sometimes parents watch TVB. So I also sit beside and watch some legal related series.
Yes.
So I find it, hey, lawyer quite fun. I mean, from the movie, from the series lah, from the television program, I think is something that, this is something is quite fun, and not about helping people, but you know the law, you know how it works and all these things. So from there, I actually have that interest. Yeah, so I kind of like it. Then I am a person that likes to learn things and able to, I wouldn't say teach, like to share. So, and usually auntie uncles will say, hey, then why don't you study law, So of so many industry, and because last time Chongling, at that point of time during my years 2005 form 5, that my form 5 is 2005. So I would say 80% in the school is science stream. So that time Penang boys like my age, most of them will enroll electronic engineering, mechanical engineering, everything about engineering. But I kind of don't like it. I didn't dislike, but I never like it. So, and when I asked them, so what do you do for engineering, I couldn't really gel myself into that. So I'm like a special boy among my friends, because that time my high school friend, let's say our closest group, we have about 6 to 8. 90% of them study engineering course.
Wow.
So it's like I'm always the naughty boy, special boy that didn't follow the normal trend. Because that time, now even them, they are working in Intel, they are working in some big manufacturers and all. So this is what happened previously. So come back to diploma time, I still didn't give up, because when diploma, usually people will tell you continue to degree. So I'm like, how I'm stuck a bit lah. So I asked my parents, and my parents say, if you really want to do law, you should at least complete your diploma. So I completed my diploma, and I go to inquiries about the law program, and then they say, yes, you actually can do it, provided that I mean, because if law, you either do bar or you do CLP. So at that point, I don't come from a very wealthy family. So doing bar is like a big, I would say, I can only imagine. It's like something very far from me lah. Because in Dubai, you need to go UK, you need to spend a lot of money. So I think it's impossible lah. So the only options is CLP. So the academic consultant say, if you want to do CLP, right, I think better you check with them, because the road is very important. After you have SPM, then you need to have either A levels or STPM. There are criteria to be fulfilled, and the how many credits and all these things. So at that point, they say you do A levels again lah. So to be safe.
But that was after your degree.
After my diploma in business administration.
Oh.
So I say,
before you started.
before I started my law program. So I think, hey, if that right, then it will take another year. Then what happened if A level doesn't do so well? Then he said, okay, if that's the case, if you can get a approval letter from LPQB, Lembaga Qualifying Board Malaysia lah, LPQB, this board that regulates at CLP sittings. So then he said, if you can, you write a letter to them with your diploma cert and whatever, and if they allow, then you can join the degree program straight. So I go back straight away, I write the letter, I send to them, it's a snail mail, I mean a real hard letter, not email. And to my surprise, 2 weeks later, I got a response from them. They call me, they said it's pending the pengarah to approve. But yes, it's approved lah, it's approvable lah, it's doable lah. So he said, if you want to study, you can go to study now. But I'm afraid that later after he said no, so I waited the approval, and to make me surprised even more, they said after a week I called, approved already. They say yes, we already sent out the letter, but I didn't get it yet. so at that time I was worried. So they say, never mind, you wait more. So but I cannot wait. Then I say, can I come to collect and you make another letter? They say I cannot make another letter, but we have a record photocopy record, we can give you that. So I took a bus. That time I took a bus, college time. So I took a bus to KL from Penang to KL, and then go to the office, make appointment, and then they say it must be pakaian kemas. So yes, long pants, a shirt, and all. Go and see them, and then pass me the letter. So after I got the letter, I was so happy. So I said, okay, now I can do law. Then from there, I started my degree program with Brickfield Asia College. And then I did my third year, my final year in Northumbria University in Newcastle. There was a transfer program. Then along the way, because I know I need to go UK, so I also work some part-times in some roadshow and all, become a promoter. And also I work in Giant supermarket before to sell ice cream. So to cover up some expenses, daily expenses and all. So that was that journey from to study law.
Then when you were in Newcastle, do you do any part-time to cover your expenses?
Yes. When I was in Newcastle, I work in restaurant. I actually do three parts of work. I work in their bar as a bartender before. So I learned different kind of drinks. But if you mention about cocktail, I still couldn't make a good cocktail. I work as a dishwasher, wash the plate. That one is usually at night. So I wash the plate, and also I work as a waiter before. So it was a great journey, and of course I managed to have extra income of about £200 a week if I really work. Because per hour is during my time is 6.19 minimum wages. So of course during some free time I will work, or maybe at night I will go to work for a few hours. So from there to get some pocket money. But by having say so, I managed to earn some British pounds and allowed me for a Europe trip.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, not only myself, I even able to tell my mom, hey, you come, I bring you for a Europe trip.
Wow, you even brought your mom.
Yeah. So because at that point when you're away, you will miss your family most. So long time I never see my mother. I say, hey, mom, you want to come for my graduation? And like I mentioned, because we are not from a very wealthy family, so it's not easy to travel last time. So my mom said, okay, for your graduation I will come, but I couldn't go anywhere else because not so much budget we have. So I said, don't worry, I work hard so that at least I can bring you to somewhere. And to be very proud of it, I managed to do it.
That's really nice, really nice of you. Wow. Then after your graduation, you came back and did your CLP.
Yes, but
What was the experience?
okay, interesting part. Actually, every stage of my life, there's some episode to share. During the time in UK, we were encouraged to apply for their BPTC. So it's their bar program. It's like our CLP here. So LinkedIn is one of the options that I applied, and because my school, Northumbria University, they have this bar program, one of the provider lah. So you need to do some tests and then get qualified and accepted by one of these like LinkedIn, and then only you can study law. I mean their bar program. It's not like automatic you apply you can get. So I applied because the application fee is not too high. I applied, and I got accepted.
Oh, congrats. Okay.
I got accepted by LinkedIn, and I got accepted by the university to do bar program. Then the next question, where do I get money from? Okay, so I found this very good friend of mine who owns a restaurant in UK. I mean in Newcastle. He said, hey, can lah, together you work lah. Then from there I'm sure can work out something. But at the end of my degree, at the end of my visa, I need to reapply for 1 more year for my bar. I feel like the amount is too huge, and
you need to pay upfront, right?
Yes, I need to pay upfront, and I even received the invoice asking me to pay already where I don't have the money. So I dare not tell my family and all. So after I do some consideration about a week, then I say never mind, I come back. So after I come back, again I go back to Brickfield. So I go to Brickfields and I say, let's do CLP. Then of course during that time I also do some part times to make some money while learning and all, while studying. At that point, like I say, it's all about what you choose lah. And I couldn't really choose much because I need to finance myself and also accommodation in KL because I was studying in KL. Brickfields is in KL, BJ campus. So yeah, then work and study, work and study.
Before you started, once you have gone to the extent of getting a CLP, did you see yourself being a lawyer for your whole career life?
Exactly.
Before you started working.
Yes, before I started working, yes, and even after I started working, I still think I want to be lawyer for whole life.
But then again, as we know who you are now, things has changed more than a little bit.
Yep.
So what was the spark that gave you this kind of inspiration for you to say, oh, there is one day I want to switch path?
Okay. So speaking about it, I will need to mention a bit on actually my personal interest lah. I would say I'm a guy that like technology. I like innovative stuff. So it's like when people are worried about having a battery in the car, I would think Tesla is a very good concept that I am the kind of person I would like to try new things. So speaking about startups and all, last time I am very active in it. So I even have a entrepreneur mindset that I want to do something this and that lah. Okay, because I think lawyer is just a profession that I want to go into, but I want to do different. I become a different lawyer, that kind of thing lah. So at that point, there's a lot of platform to allow us to become entrepreneur. One of it is let's say like Cradle. You can Cradle Fund. We can apply their funding. Okay, and there's other than that, we have SME corporation that actually give nurturing and advice to people who want to do entrepreneur business lah, startups and all. So speaking about that, then I suddenly think, during my practice in law, is different from what I seen from the movie. It's very, because legal profession is the most one of the traditional profession. They are very everything is about ethics. It's about very rigid. They are covered by, we are regulated by bar council and everything. So when it comes to digital innovation disruption, technology disruption is very limited. I wouldn't say none, but you need to go through a lot of approval. If you want to introduce an app to say, okay, now with this app you can find a lawyer there, I think it's near to very difficult to get that kind of approval or support from all the parties, because in English legal practice, we are inherit from our British colonial systems and all these things. Law should be something that is very honorable. We have ethic codes that we do not solicit for business, that kind of things. So it's difficult when you have digital disruption mindset and all the very rigid codes and ethics. So, but still, it doesn't stop me from want to change, want to bring, because I feel, now this documentation process very difficult. I feel like, can we have an app or can we have an automated system to actually do it? Yes, but to actually launch it in a legal practice is a very difficult market. So at that point, I feel like, okay lah, maybe one day there's something that I can try, I can do, I will do it. But I still love law. I still practice it and all these things. Yeah.
You were mentioning about SME and cradle funds, right?
Yep.
So during that time, what was your idea?
Oh, okay.
What did you wanted to achieve at that time?
Okay, because I like to try new things. So that time I have this idea. Actually, that was long time ago, even before the lorry and all this startup. That time I realized a lot of lorry drivers, they actually are waiting for job. And sometimes you couldn't get a good lorry driver. I mean, there's no connecting points. So during that time, I'm thinking, can I set up a app? With that app, it's like Lala Move today, where you can get trucks or lorries there. That was the original idea, and this idea was actually approved by Cradle Fund Company during their management meetings and our pitching and all. They actually grant us 100,000 grant. It's a grant. No need to pay back to it as long as our milestone are achieved. So me and my partner, who is also one of my good friend, he's a programmer. So he managed to complete the app. He managed to complete the app, and but of course, during the vetting process, the officer say give some remarks and feedbacks that require changes. But of course, due to my technical, I mean my CTO, my partner who is my CTO, technical difficulties, we couldn't make it. So it was a very difficult moment because it's like on one side, you know, you will get that funding from the cradle to actually move on to your business. But on another hand, because of technical issue, we cannot make it. So it's very, I wouldn't say disappointing, and it's not only affect the business, it affect the friendship also. So you cannot be telling your friend, like, hey, do lah. Then he will like, hey, you do lah. So that kind of thing. So we chose to just, for friendship wise, I choose to let it go. I mean, I keep the friendship. I let go the cradle funds lah. The startup lah.
So during that time, did it affect your profession as a lawyer, as a career?
Okay.
Or
because I would put it this way, we all know that if you can allow me to add in some Chinese word, okay? 创业的时候是最艰难的时候. So it's like in English, it's like whenever you want to start a new startup, usually your day job is where to keeps you pay your bills, have your meals and all these things. At night is a time where we actually change our life. After work, it's either you pay more attention to your ordinary, either you go gym or you do sports, or you spend time on your work, or you do something else. So at that point, most of the time we work at night. So it doesn't affect my day job, that kind of things. So after a few months of fighting and we, like I said, we managed to get cradle funding, but because of technical issue, we couldn't get the fund.
But it didn't stop you from there.
Okay, so it didn't stop me from there. So speaking about this, then I will need to maybe touch a bit on my second funding from SME Bank, which will have a direct relationship of what am I doing now. Okay, so why I go SME Bank? My SME Bank is because I want to start a new business. What is the business? Which is this current business. Yeah, but what makes me come into this business?
What was your inspiration?
Okay, it's actually because of technology. So for one exhibition, I actually come across this milling machine, dental CAD cams and all. At that point, I'm still a practicing lawyer. So I don't know much about this. I don't know much about this business, but of course, the seller tried to make me buy the machines. Then he say, okay, one day this machine can do maybe 20 crowns. 1 crown costs how much? And at that point, Malaysia have maybe less than 3 million machine. So he said, if you just start up a new one, you'll be making money. So I'm like, okay lah, true lah, but this machine cost me 400,000-500,000. It's a bit pricey and it's a bit not reachable for me. So from that, I stopped venturing into it. I stopped looking at it, but it doesn't stop me from doing research because it sounds like a business opportunity. And then what makes me wonder more is that if it is so good, why no one is doing? Right? So I start to find out more, and I realize because of the digital adaptation, it's not high yet. It's always demand and supply and demand. So in Malaysia at that point, maybe clinics are also less inclined for digital adaptation. They don't go into digital yet. That is why no demand, no supply. But I still always believe that this thing will grow. This thing will hit one day. Will be something explosive. So in 2015, I would say Q1, I decided to fly to Korea to find out about this technology. I mean, these equipments and all. So at that point, I don't.
You don't have experience.
Yes.
You have no backup.
Yeah. And I don't know anyone. So what I do is I just send email, and that time the email also ivan@gmail.com. It's not from some dental company or nothing. So to my surprise, two of the manufacturers actually willing to see me. So I make appointment. I say, okay, I will fly there and blah blah blah. I will come to see you. So one is very kind. They say he will pick me up at I think some train station or what. Another one just give me the address and go for meeting. So the first one I went. The price are okay, acceptable. It's just $250,000 instead of $500,000 after conversion. They are good, everything is fine. The problem is there's a minimum order quantity, and the discussion actually turns sour when I say I only want to buy one, where the in charge say, no, we don't sell one, we are manufacturers, you need to buy at least 5. But at that point, don't mention about one, buy half also I cannot afford. So the discussion turns into, if I know you only buy one, I won't see you, that kind of things. And then I say, if I know you want to sell me 5, I won't come to see you, that kind of, there's no ending lah. So I stopped the discussion and move on to second manufacturer. So second manufacturer, who is the manufacturer that I still work with right now, is called DOF, Degree of Freedom. So they are pioneer in dental scanner. Yes, then at that point they have milling machine, but it's only cater for local market, which is only in Korea. So I'm like, ayo, how? Then they insist not to sell me because they're afraid they couldn't support in technical support. So I also fly back lah, because I mean, if they don't want to sell, I also cannot do anything. So I still have my day job to attend to. So I come back. Then I do nothing for a month. Second month, I think I should follow up. So I get a friend of mine to help me to write a letter in Korean. Hangul, I think they call it. So write in Korean, I send the letter there, and then in one day time they reply in email saying that, okay, they can understand English, no need Korean. Okay, for you, we will send you a milling machine in next month time. So just prepare the payment. So I have a month to prepare the payment, which I don't have the payment. I mean, entrepreneur, so if I'm rich, if I'm loaded, I wouldn't be so difficult to start with. So I quickly find the website in Malaysia about loans or entrepreneur funds in Malaysia. So one of it is, of course, Cradle, we know, but it's more on app development at that point. So I resort to bank. So I quickly go to Malaysia SME Bank, Berhad, they actually have loans for startup or entrepreneur like us, as long as you're able to fulfill their criteria. So I quickly go and see the officer and I say, okay, I need 200,000, what should I do? Then they say, first thing you should do is to attend one program, their entrepreneur program called TUS, T-U-S. I cannot remember in full, but it's called TUS. They help it every month, different state. It's like you have to go there and have a briefing, so that once you have the tools, then only you can submit your business proposal for loan. So that time I think I went to Kelantan, if not mistaken.
Yeah, because on that particular month it was in.
Yeah, so
you cannot wait.
Yeah, I cannot wait. So I take off, I fly to Kelantan, and okay, I mean, but of course the costs are covered by government. This is one thing, because it's an SME bank, government linked company, so it's covered. It's as long as but accommodation you pay yourself lah. But meals and all are on them. So I go, I got the certificate. I come back, I quickly do the business proposal. So I do the proposal, I send in, and then they say, oh, I mean, of course, need to wet through and have a few rounds of wet and check. After a month, they sent me an email saying that your loan has been approved for 200,000. So I'm like, hey, like people say, Jose. Okay, can move on. So I tell Korean, I say now I want to buy, I can buy, I got loan. But the payment of method is in letter of credit, is LC facilities. Then I tell the Korean company that my bank will pay in LC, but to them they say because I only buy one unit, it's a bit on the administrative paperwork side, a bit not feasible for them. At that point they only accept TT. So I come back to the bank, I say no, they can only accept TT. So they say no, because you are in overseas, we cannot let TT, we only have LC, that kind of thing. So a bit of ding dong, wasted about 2 weeks time. I still cannot get a good resolution in this matter. So what I do is I look for personal loan from bank. So I do a personal loan from bank, and bank say okay, this is the amount and all, but the loan is approved. So I call the SME bank, I say I no longer need this money. But they say no, but you already approved, the fund is allocated for you, but you can use it for something else as a working capital or something. Yeah. So it's like, so I say, but I still don't need lah. So I mean at that point, but I say okay, it's a 1 year period before it expired. So I focus on the purchase. So once I get the money, I TT to them, I fly to their second time Korea. I fly there and verify everything, then so wait for the machine to come in. So that was a decision making period of time. So once I paid, I thought I'm happy already. The next move is that I need to hire people to run the lab, because this is totally new for me, and they said definitely you need to hire people to run it. So I asked around, in locally, people don't know about this thing, like they don't know about digital CAD CAM, and during that time it's very tough. And easiest way to get talent is university. This is what I learned during my time. I asked around and I found out that there's actually a university that have this program for Malaysian that actually 1 year, I think about 20 to 50 Malaysian students actually went to this university. It's partially sponsored by both the governments, if not mistaken. But I know it's sponsored halfway. I mean, it's sponsored partially. That these people will go there to study different courses, and one of the courses is dental technologies courses. So I quickly contact the university. I say I'm from Malaysia. I'm starting a new lab. I want to hire people. Can I fly to see you to ask about student recommendation and all these things? The university say you can come. So I flew there, Air Asia. Bootstrapping, save money. Go there, take bus to Taichung. It was in Taichung. The university name is CTUST, Central Taiwan University, something lah. 中台科技大学. Okay. So I fly there. I meet with I meet with the program supervisor at that point. At that point, this gentleman, he is also about to retire, because it's his time. So he introduced me to his as his deputy. Okay, this deputy is Mr. Lim, who is the program supervisor now. So I spoke a lot with this Mr. Ling Maoqing Lao Si, Mr. Lim. He actually gave me a lot of feedback and tips and all, because he was their first batch of student in the university, and he stayed back to teach. That kind of things lah. So he tell me, hey, what you should do, you should this, you should that. So I plan to hire students, and he gave me some recommendation. So I come back to Malaysia, because I spoke to the students already. So after that, after a month, where it was close to November and December, my machine comes into border already. At October I pay so I fly to Taiwan to hiring. So by the flow, it should be these people come back with the machine, everything can start well. But to my surprise, on December, the student tell me they don't want to come back to work for me because they think they never learned this in their school. This CAD CAM thing to them is something new. So they say they don't want to come back. So again, I'm stuck. But I have no choice, and I understand that if let's say I need to do something, I have to do it. So I set up the.
You got no choice because your machine is already on route.
Yes, and I need to start paying my personal loan finance to the bank. So on January itself, I pay lor. I still work lor. I work, I pay, I work, I pay, that kind of. Like my day job. I didn't stop my practice yet. Okay, I didn't stop my practice until 2 months later.
But during that time, your lab couldn't run because
Yeah, couldn't run, and it's like burning money. The burn rate is very high. I have to pay rental, and my friend who previously runs a clinic, I mean, who runs the clinic, a medical clinic, he said, "Hey, my upstairs got space. We never use that floor. You can use that floor." So he give like a not discount lah, but it's like a friend assistance to me, saying that, hey, you use lah first floor, minimal rental first. So I say okay lah, I move everything there. They already renovated, but the clinic didn't use that. So it was located in Bangsa, Jalan Maruf. I still remember the address. So Jalan Maruf, and I was there. So but it's no staff mah, so it's empty lah. So he called me, "Ui, are you running business or not? If not, I will need to use that floor." So I say, "Hey, I'm doing one. I'm doing one." So he say, "Okay, so instead of you can use the full floor, I give you a section only, because his practice need more space, medical practice need more space." So I'm like, okay lah. I mean, that's your own place, ma. You own, fair enough lah. Then okay. Then I managed to hire people. Slowly, I managed to hire people. So
is it the Taichung grad or?
yes, but other, not these two lah. The other one that come back. So I'm like, okay, I think it's fine. So I start from there. So after 1 or 2 months juggling between legal practice and this, I mean, during day job I couldn't attend to this. So the lab is sleeping daytime. So I thought, like, you know, entrepreneur ma, at night can go, weekend can go, but cannot lah. You cannot focus. So after that I decided, and my senior in my legal firm actually tell me, why don't you take a break and do what you want to do. That's when it actually let me think again. So I want to be a lawyer, or I want to go to lab, dental lab. This is a very tough decision. I would say I spent so many years get myself qualified lah. I put it this word. Degree is not an easy. I mean, degree is not that tough lah. But passing CLP, a lot of people say is something crazy, which
The passing rate is very low.
The passing rate is very. The numbers are difficult to appreciate on. But then people say, honestly, even myself, before I pass CLP, I think I die also must pass CLP.
Right.
Then now I pass CLP, if I don't do, it's like, ui.
Your efforts are all wasted.
Yes, and then people will think that, you crazy. So at that point, it's very difficult. I have to choose. So okay lah. Then I think, but thinking of difficulties and receiving calls from bank asking me to pay my personal loan, I think I have to pay first. Right. So I have no choice. So I pay lah. So I go to where I need to pay first, where I can pay. So I think then actually I plan to sold the machine away to pay off my loan. That was the first, people say, a first giving up moment, because really cannot. then no, the manufacturer don't want to buy back.
Definitely.
They think no, then they say, since you already buy, then why don't you train yourself to do it? Then I'm like, how to train myself to do it? It's so difficult, right? Then I say, never mind, you come to Korea, we will train you, we will have labs for you, and then I think okay lah, not too bad also, better than nothing. So I fly there Air Asia again.
The time have you resigned yet?
Yes, I resigned. I resigned.
You already resigned before you went to Korea and train yourself.
Yes.
You previously you were mentioning you got someone to help you, but
It doesn't turn out that well because he also don't know. I mean, he don't know about this. So
because during their university, because this
Yeah.
technology is so new that even
Yes.
during the university course it was not taught.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
So it was so difficult. Then I mean, not the technology is difficult. The situation for me is very difficult. So like I say, I have to either I pay bills or I can't lah. I mean, I'm stuck in so many ways.
So during that time, you could have chose to practice your day job and pay back the loan with the money you get from a day job, while at the same time try your best to hire someone to work for you.
Yes.
But why you didn't choose this road? What was the mindset inside your brain at that time?
Okay, at that time actually, the biggest problem is that isn't that is like I giving up on my it's not only a day job for me, because to pass law examination is not easy. So it's like a challenge for me that I already do so many things just to get qualified, to get first hurdles. I get approval for the, instead of A levels I have the diploma thingy. Then after that I go UK I work part time to sustain myself there. Then come back do CLP the past CLP. This is no longer a day job. This is like more than a day job.
It's your life, since your primary school, people have been telling you, you have been thinking about the
Yes.
profession.
So I'm like, how So actually I spoke to my colleagues, my senior, who is actually he helped me a lot, and my master also. So I asked them their opinion and all. Then they say, okay, whatever you started, you shouldn't stop. But now you started second thing. So it's wrong to give up one of it. So at that point, they tell me just take a break from the legal practice. It's not a complete stop lah. It's not a stop to me. That's what in my mind, to be honest. I still think that during that time, even until during last year, I still think that maybe one day I will go back. So I think okay lah. I didn't completely stay away. I'm just taking a stop, a pause to do this project. Once this project I have more staff can run, I will go back to practice. That was my idea. That was the assurance given by my masters and my colleagues that anytime I'm being welcomed back to the legal firm.
That's a really, very nice statement that you're given. It's like a safety net for you, so you can really go and venture what you wanted, your passion, without any worry at the back of your head. But then again, you still have the bank loan. The bank loan is there. Is still
Running. It's
still
troubling
you.
me. It's still troubling me.
So, even though they say you are welcome to come back, but then again you still have your bank loan to pay back every. Can you tell us the struggle between the time you went to Korea and get yourself trained, and then after come back and try to run this business? What is the story during that time?
Okay, so that time, because I cannot just leave Malaysia and then go there for many times, very long lah, I would say. So I tell myself maybe every time go 1-2 weeks. So the problem is that for people that using your saving to spend in Korea, it's not easy. I mean, because of the currency after conversion and all. So actually I stay in this traveler lodge. It's not an hotel. It's at Hongdae University. I still remember this where the young people stay in. So there's this traveler lodge. I cannot recall the name, but one night is, I would say, ringgit, 60 ringgit. One night. So it's about maybe $15 a night. It's a dorm. It's like a mixed dorm or male dorm or whatever dorm lah. So I stay whatever is the cheapest one. So during that time, I'm lucky because there's not much people doing digital. There's not much. I mean digital. This lab technology. Not much people are going into that. So, and I'm lucky that they have this onboarding program, and one of the software is called ExoCAD. They have the training there. So at that point, because no one is pioneer yet, because it's just launched to market. It's like when something launched, no one is pioneer, so you cannot say you are good, I'm not good. Everyone is a student, everyone is learning. So I learn, and then I come back Malaysia. I do a bit of testing and all. Then one thing good for digital, I would say digital community is everyone is very open because everyone also still learning ma. So I face technical problem, I ask. So at that point, we have a close group in Facebook where all these people are inside. So we ask questions there. So they share. So for example, is the design good, not good, good, not good, things like that. But I know I couldn't really, how do I put it? At that point, I really couldn't do a good job compared to those masters that maybe have 20 years experience. So I chose to learn from this master instead. I pay them money. I say, hey, I pay you lah, you teach me. So the intention is not for me to do as many crowd as possible, but the intention is for me to know so that I can hire good people. Because if I don't know, I can't even hire. And the people might also like hide it from me or something. I mean, it's not that kind of bad way lah, but if you don't know, you cannot manage. So after that, I redo recruitment again. So this time is better because I know already. And also with this a community that is online. I mean, all of us that from different country, we are in the group. All these group members lah, we able to help each other. And these new employees of mine, they are still more confident because there are so many people in the group that are willing to help. So at that point, to be honest, it's also very difficult for me to stay in Malaysia industry because the convention is like taxi drivers don't like Grab or Uber. Hotels don't like Airbnb, that kind of things. So it's very difficult. I got a lot of resistance. I got a lot of challenge. Some industry players that are so senior, they call me, they say, hey, you don't come to disturb the market lah. Yeah, we are doing it, and all kinds of all these disturbance and minor things, and supplier don't know me. So I want to buy some, like since it's a Gigi Hunt program, I mean Gigi Hunt channel, so your viewer must know a bit on dentistry. I want to buy stone also. I got a lot of hindrance. So like where to buy mask also don't know. Or after I know, they say, hey, who are you? Which company you are from? And all these things. So I've been through that kind of things a lot. I want to buy cement. They say no, you must. I mean cement is adhesive lah. So for some non-dental background viewers, we're talking about dental glues and adhesive. Suppliers say, hey, you pay cash first lah, COD, that kind of thing. So yeah lah, then I say, okay lah, never mind. But I'm lucky until today, our reputation has grown better, and this thing has fade away. Industry players know me better now. They even come to attend my courses that I conduct. Because to me, I always believe that by proper communication, problem can be solved.
Yeah. So during the time when you're facing all these challenges, when you're first starting out, you're facing challenges from supplier, from technical point of view also. Then again, you are also facing this that you are at this time being you are no longer a lawyer, right? So what kind of pressure do you face from the society, from the your parents, your circle of friends? What kind of perception or what kind of struggle do you get?
Okay, let's start with I would say our closest is either friends and family lah. That's why we have this friends and family plan always. So let's start with family first. So I mean even before I start, I would say or just beginning when I just started this thing, my parents wasn't really happy. My mom, she cannot accept lah. She thinks that why you want to do something that you don't know how to do, why you want to do something that is totally not related to your studies, because I think this is most Asian parents would think like if you study finance you should do finance lah, that kind of things lah. So you study law you should do law ma. Some more you say you want like to do law this and that. I mean I always tell her I want to be a lawyer and all these things, but she cannot accept the fact. My father is a bit upset, but he chose to be quiet. We didn't have a direct confrontation. There's no argument, but mostly come from my mother. And my brother, my elder brother, also not really happy. He thinks that, you know, after parents spend so much money on the education, and you do something that is not related. So to them, this is something. To them, this is a naughty boy action, naughty boy behavior. Because during my childhood time, I can be quite naughty certain times. So they think that, ayo, what decision you make again that will, you know, simply do things like that lah. Okay, so I was like, okay, but I try not to discuss much. I keep all the problems that I face to myself. Okay, whereas for friend even worse as in they don't even know what is dental lab. They don't know what am I doing. Some thought that I go into designing industry because, you know,
It's part of it.
It's part of it. Some things that I become a supplier, a traders. Oh, you sell things now. Some thing that I work in a factory now, because like, you know, we have machines and all. So that's one time I always remember this moment, because when you are entrepreneur or when you're doing your things, you have to stay focused. So especially working in a lab, people always say long hours. So at that point, basically my destination of traveling is from the house where I stay to lab, and then until late night 1 or 2 I go back to house.
1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2 midnight, because at that point I'm not so good with all these things yet. So there's a lot of failures that then you need to redesign, and then milling, restart again and again and again. So it takes up the time. So at that point I was like, my normal hours of working is until stay back to 12 to 1, about 12 I wouldn't say every night is 1 to 2, but sometimes 1 to 2, and I start work at 9. Get used to it to go court early and all these things. So I go to lab early also. So every day without fail, maybe Sunday also half day in lab. So at that point I say why I forever remember that moment is because my friend didn't know that I'm in KL. They thought I went back to Penang. So for one time they actually go for our close friend house gathering, and then they say, hey, let's call me, video call. So I'm like, video call, I'm in the lab and all. Then they say, hey, so late, you're still working? I say, yeah. Then I saw they are in the friend's house. Then I just asked like, hey, why people always say like bo jio, right? So I say, hey, why never call me? Then all of them say, how to call you? You are in Penang. Call you also cannot come. Then I have to pretend that I'm okay. Hey, no lah, where got in Penang? I'm in KL. Yeah, man. You see group chat, you also never reply. Okay, why all these things happen? Because I was too focused in the business. I mean the production and all these things. So that kind of crazy moment of few months that you know you don't even see your friends, or I don't even call my family or what. I just stay focused because I need to get it fixed. If not, the bank will call me again. Apart from that, I also want to get it done. I want to make my crown dance, and also there are many factors, and also of course my team are so new and fresh, they don't have experience, so I need to get their work validated by all the community leaders and all these things. So it actually take up a lot of time. So this is the crazy moment, and some friend actually say, I mean of course running business there's up and down.
Yeah.
Up and down. So the downtime, I got no one to talk to, because I cannot be calling my lawyer friend and tell him, then they won't understand, and they say, then I told you already what, don't do this, you should come back to become lawyer. That kind of pain lah. No people understand you, and even until today, I mean not today lah, but like people won't know what you are doing. So that is why one of the reason that I'm quite active in social media on Facebook is so people know what am I doing. My post is not to show off, but sometimes it helps my family also, my family who are also my Facebook friends, so they know, oh, you are doing this thing now. So you can have more communication take place. But if the industry is so secretive or so silent, right, how you want to tell, you don't have even topic to talk about, to share about. So at that point, it became a habit for me to posting on social media, and somehow later my Facebook actually attracted a lot of my client who is dentist to add me on Facebook. So it's good also lah. At least they know like, oh, this is something new. Like last few months, I do a 3D printed denture, complete fully 3D printed denture, and then they're like, oh, then people start discussing there, and of course, like my parents they will know, they will at least know, because I don't talk to them daily, I don't call them daily, right? So at least they see, oh, this fella got post Facebook, I think he's okay lah in KL. That kind of things lah. But that was the earlier intention, because where you have problem, you don't know where to seek help. So maybe Facebook is one of the place that last time give me a lot of ideas and all. Yeah.
So from then to now, I think from what you have said, from what we can see, there has been a lot of changes from the struggling part until now. So please brag to our viewers.
Yes.
Because not all of them know what you do.
Yep.
Right? Please tell us your achievement so far. Like the best way you can put it. No need to be humble. Please go ahead.
Okay.
What you have achieved?
What have I achieved? I started this lab in 2016 actually. For the past 5 years, I moved 3 times. So from 2 rooms above my friend's clinic, I moved to SS2, one of the shop lot in level 1, and then I moved to, after 2 years, 1.5 years, I take up 2 floors. So that was the 3rd move. So in 2021 December, I moved here. So this is our latest place is 3,500 square feet. We have most okay, when it comes speaking about this company sizes. Now last time our staff is only 3 to 4 person. Now we have 15 technicians working for us, dental technician and dental technologists, and my staff are all dental qualified, as in they do their dental technology course in either Masha or Ames University. And that is also one of my social mission, because let me share a bit aside from my achievement, because this to me this is one of my achievement that I feel is more than material things that you can say, that I can show you. Of course, for machine, we have the most milling machine in town. We have 6 milling machine now. We have 3D printer, industrial grade 3D printer too. So this hardware is always hardware. Hardware can, people say can be, you know, off trend, you know, no longer famous and all these things. But what really makes me work harder is that all this bunch of young grads that come to me, especially those from Ames University, when they started with me, they tell me what is the basic salary. So I'm like, okay, if degree is 3,000, because like for lawyer you get 3,000, kind of that level. Accountants you get 3,000 and all. But in our dental tech field, to be very honest, before I understand fully, they are getting paid like what, 2,000, 1,008, which is so low. And one of my colleagues tell me, it's very upset for them. Why? Because they study 4 years for their degree, 1 year foundation and 4 years degree. Their school fees is more than a pharmacist. To do pharmacist course in, I mean not comparative like which uni to which uni, but in general speaking, what I've been told is dental technologies courses fees is more than a pharmacist. But when they come out, the salary is only a quarter of a pharmacist, or maybe half lah, I would say. Cannot be too sure, but if
Pharmacy starting pay should be about close to 4,000.
yeah, 4,000, and these people maybe get only 1,007, 1,008, 1,009, or maybe 2,005 the max. So I say, then they say they need to pay PTPTN. Speaking about now staying in the city, KL, everything is so expensive. I tell myself, no matter how, I should build a platform for them to be successful. But successful is very subjective. But before they can successful, at least I can pay them a more decent pay that are more I would say reconcile to the school fees. So this is my social mission. So I'm the one that pay during that time lah. During they started with me, I offer 3,003 for a degree lab tech. Some people say very high.
Disrupt the market.
Yeah, disrupt the market. Again, my phone call non-stop from all the locals players. They say in Cantonese, hey, why you pay so high? What they can do? This and that. But I'm thinking, if let's say I graduate as a lawyer, I don't want to being offered a salary at 1,005. So I have this responsibility to make sure that they are well taken care of, they are well treated, to be treated them fairly lah. I wouldn't say like, so that actually keeps me moving. That is also like today I'm proud to tell people, and they are not like greedy or what, but we actually do for one reason. We want to give a opportunity for the younger generation. So I'm proud to say that I'm able to build a company that not only successful in hardware, that I have most hardware, no, it's not about that. Software, no, it's not about I'm a KOL for this manufacturer, I am a trainer of this and that or what, no. My biggest and most humble achievement is I'm able to build a company that provide jobs, high quality jobs, bright future jobs, and I wouldn't say well paid, in a comfortable level of salary package to my staff.
Wow, that's a really noble
motivation. That is my biggest achievement. And aside from this, last year we actually did a merger and acquisition with Dental Field, one of the larger labs company, who is a listed company they are located in Hong Kong. They are based in Hong Kong, but their production capacity is spread around the world. So we actually had a merger and acquisition exercise with them. So now we are part of a Modern Dental Group. To be more proud is that last week I actually went to Singapore, and now Apex Dental will be extend our capacity to Singapore. Right. So this is the first step lah. So like I say, if I build a company, I able to offer good jobs for my people, for my staff, and maybe the future's applicant. And now not only they can do work in Malaysia, I have vacancy in Singapore. So this is something that makes me move on. It's not so much on, hey, Ivan, do you plan to have 100 more milling machine? Do you plan to have more software or what? No. To me, it's about human. I grow human. That's me.
That's really motivating.
Thank you, thank you.
Then, since you have gone so far from where you have started, have the perception towards you from your family and friends, have that changed throughout time? Can you tell us?
Okay. Actually, one thing that I think changed the most is, of course, now I got support from my family and my wife being very supportive, because during the journey, I share, during the journey, the difficult times, aside from I got no friends to share with, I share with my wife. Then I asked my wife, who last time is my wife is actually the co-founder of this company. We both quit our job. She's an auditor. I'm a lawyer. We quit the job and found this company. So every time I tell her, hey, should I just go back and become lawyer? Every time I tell her, if I'm a lawyer, I don't think so difficult now, so tough now. This is the question and the whining that I pass to her. Every time she will say, if you become lawyer, then you will tell me that, hey, if I do dental lab, right, maybe now what if lah. So she said, since you're already here, then you just fix it lah. So I even tell her, hey, maybe I'm a lawyer now, maybe I can afford a Lamborghini or what. I mean, this is a discussion, not like I really can afford, but I tell her, hey, maybe I can stay bungalow now. Then, but my wife is a very, very, I would say, very supportive person and very laser focused. She say, no, if you want to in dental, you dental. If not, now you resign, you quit, you go back practice tomorrow. So every time she is the one who's supporting me. But of course, for friends, because now I like talking. I like sharing, and even I tell myself in future when I'm old, I want to become, I do masters now actually, so that I can teach law whenever I'm old, if allows lah. So I can.
You're still doing master in law, LLM.
Yeah. I mean in progress lah. I hasn't graduated yet. I'm doing LLM. It's not as a. I like to learn things. I like to study. I find study is the best thing that you can do in the world. You got no pressure. It's either you learn and you pass, or you fail only. You got no pressure. Study is something fun for me. So I read to distress. People listen music, but I read to distress. So yeah. So for friends, because now I sometimes I do workshop, I do sharing. So sometimes I post photos that I go on the stage and all these things. So my friend now, they are like, hey, so now what you do? No more in factory, no more in and what in design or what? No, I say this is part of my job. And they have a better understanding now. Then they think that it's like time proves something. Time proves something. My parents, especially my mom, she is okay now, because she thinks that at least you have some achievement, that it won't ruin your own life, because parents are usually afraid that you change your route and maybe you cannot even afford for your own house rental, that kind of things lah. This is what most parents worried about. They scared that when the change is too drastic, you cannot come back. My father, although he never say anything, but like he will text me to congrats me. Or sometimes he sees some posts on Facebook he didn't like, but he will text me. He say, well done kids, something like that. And my relative, especially relative, I would think Asian country, relative play an important role, kind of lah. I don't say my relative are bad, but sometimes they were like, ayo. Then the pressure go to my mom. Hey, why Ivan study, never become lawyer, that kind of thing lah. So, but now they will ask in different way. Oh, I even didn't become lawyer also, doing not bad, okay lah, that kind of thing. So I would say change is, I mean, it's not a must. I mean, now that if you ask me, now that maybe any of the younger generation comes to me, if I study law, should I become something else? If I study medicine, should I become something else? I would say it's about where you like, or the passion. Passion is something cannot buy, cannot be added. Passion is something comes from yourself. So now and then I have a younger, I would say younger, my relative, my nephew, and even my juniors from my university, my high school. They actually ask me, hey, I grad already, but I couldn't find a good job from, I mean, maybe it's a finance consideration lah. The pay wasn't high or that kind of things, fresh grad and all. I tell them it's not about the money that you get in the beginning of few years. It's what you can learn and also what you like. So if you are not a person that you can sit there quietly and all, then you want to do something different. So to me, change is not a must, but change is, it can be changed, and change, it can become better. It's not necessary you don't do what you study that you will die lah. I mean, in a more layman terms. And I'm happy to even share one of my colleagues. She studied full-fledged ACCA. Okay? Certified. And then maybe after a year or two, she go into sales, and then now she likes marketing so much. That kind of things lah. So this is all happens around the world. I mean, at least around the community lah. So I wouldn't say that I mean, people it speak more into change, or more into your during your life, right? Most people, they won't care what you are doing lah, to be honest. I don't lose my lawyer friends, although I'm no longer a lawyer now. I still hang out with lawyer friends. In fact, a few of them are my closest friend now. So it doesn't mean that not only you yourself will be looking down at yourself. People won't look down at you most of the time. Last time I used to think that when I stopped practicing law, I used to think, to be honest, I used to think that am I no longer qualified to join this bunch of friends who are lawyers? To be honest, I have this feeling. Or I look down at myself. I think now I'm just workers, do some dental works or what. Am I not, sometimes our industry have dinners and all. I feel ashamed to actually attend. Like, when people ask you, hey, where do you practice now? Then you're like, that kind of things. So after a while, I realized this is not the true facts. They will even actually more wonder what you are doing, and they are curious, and they actually want to know more. So I have, to be honest, my high school, we have medical doctors that don't practice. Yeah, instead of that, he venture into art, but that is a bit different lah. He goes for paintings and all, and yeah, that kind of things. He's a practicing doctor, and he stopped and he go into arts. I have lawyer friend who's my one of my close buddy. He stopped becoming lawyer. He stopped practicing. He go into a construction company and works there. Nothing to do with legal, but more on buildings. Yeah. I have, but my example are mostly from lawyers and what they call. I have one designer friend who likes law so much. He do external programs. So this design, in graphic design, he took up a LLB external program. He studied law, and now he's a lawyer. So there are people coming in and out, go cross discipline of study. So in the end of the day, I would say education It's not everything. It's not, I wouldn't say education is not important. Education is very important. But it doesn't determine or dictate where you need to go. Where you need to go is still your own decision. I will put it that way. Yeah, this is what I feel.
So if someone who has listened to what I have spoken and decide that, okay, I want to take a leap of faith, what I have studied in the university, at this, it was a decision that I made 4 or 5 years ago. At this point of my life, I may want to try a different path. From all the challenges that you face previously, what are the tips and tricks that you can give these people that want to take that kind of a leap of faith?
Okay, I would say tips lah. First is that don't make a uninformed decision. I give an example. If you really think that let's say for the past you are accountant, you have a stable income, you are financing your car, you are financing your house. In the beginning lah, maybe you're still young, right? So maybe you just bought your car, or maybe you are still driving your family car, I would say the first thing that when you want to make the change is you need to make sure that the change that you are making is I would say reasonable. Okay, reasonable. I mean, they are crazy change. For example, you might want to tell me that I quit my job and I become a volunteer in Africa. I wouldn't say become a volunteer there is not good, but maybe you can slowly move there lah. But you don't go Africa tomorrow. I mean, it's too far. I'm not saying about the country, but it's too far. Difficult. Or maybe if you want to change, I would say most important is you think through over and over, not on what if I don't or what if I do, but it's about how well you can perform there. That is more important, because when you go there, you don't want to be just stay there for status quo. So when I moved to dental, from legal law moved to dental, I don't envision myself is just like an ordinary lab owner or lab operator. I envision myself that maybe I want to be the best in the country, but not the best maybe like we can learn from Phua Chu Kang lah, some say Klang Valley lah, that kind of things. So what I mean is that, okay, now let's say I tell you what is the next change I want to do. I want to become a teacher, but I don't envision myself like, oh, I'm just an ordinary teacher. It doesn't mean be ordinary is no good, but you need to at least have some plans of getting it better first. So you go there and then slowly you become better. If not, why you want to go? Or you don't go somewhere just because you hate what you are doing now. No, that is a big no-no. So if you tell me, do I hate maybe like paperwork and then I move to maybe technical? No, it's not about that. The more relevant items, the more relevant consideration should be why you want to go there and how does it actually makes you happier, makes you richer. I wouldn't say, sometimes money is not everything, but
it's a big motivation factor, right?
yes, but it's more important that you consider in totality. Yeah, but of course, in the beginning it's very difficult for you to get support from everyone, because people will think that, for example, I take Gigi Han, our host, as example. If today you say you don't want to become a dentist, I'm sure everyone will like, hey, what lah, right? But when you actually have a plan for yourself to do something else, and that something else actually does give you happiness. Happiness cannot be bought. That kind of, in Chinese people say the 热忱, the flame that makes you, is like passion. That kind of things, then yes, it worth us going. And it depends on the individual age also lah, to be fair. If the sudden change is come from a man that asked me that is maybe 25, 26-year-old, whatever he want to change, I think he should go and change to experience that, so that when he come back, maybe when the next step he takes, right, it will be more solid, because he go through the difficulties, he go through the failure. But of course, when we are now maybe at our age, now when we want to change, maybe what we'll think of our family, our children, our staff, our colleagues and all. So different stage of change require different factor of consideration. But in totality, as a general rule, usually what I think is passion. See where's your passion. That is why I have friends that goes to work in a construction company and he has to go under the sun wearing a white safety helmet, go under the sun and this and that, talking to the contractors, talking to the builders, looking at architecture drawings. But that is he'll tell me, from young I like buildings. So can you say that he is not doing well? No. So again, don't let the society or your friends to actually dictate what you should do, but do what you are happy. So for me, what I like is I like to see, to achieve technology stuff. Like what am I doing? Aside from that, this interest actually sparks me when I come into play, that I know that today whatever decision I make will affect others people's career. So I always tell my colleagues, my team, I wouldn't say my staff, I take them as my team. I would say, trust me, we will do more, we will do better. So I have the responsibility to grow the company even bigger so they can have better room of growth.
It's really inspiring and touching at the same time.
Thank you.
So thank you, Ivan. It has been a really insightful interview with you. I hope for all the best for you.
Thank you
and
so
then
much.
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.